Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Movie Couple Live. And this is the show where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And on today's show, we're talking about, of course, our most anticipated movies and TV shows of 2023.
Willow, we're also going to be talking about Willow episode 7 spoiler discussion.
And, of course, Michael Giacchino's official big screen directorial debut. All this is coming up on today's show. But you guys, hello, welcome, and thank you for being here. We wanted to do this one today because we missed yesterday's live stream because I was just dead tired, and that Willow episode took a lot of editing, which is now on the channel if you guys would like to check it out. So yeah, we're almost at the end of Willow, and by
We
far
only got one more episode.
Yeah, next week, the final Willow Wednesday, but it's also kind of overlapping with the Bad Batch. So there's going to be a delay for one of the shows, and it will be Bad Batch because Willow was kind of already sort of like a thing that was. Anyways, both of them will eventually be on the channel soon. So,
but also, if you want some more more videos, we actually just dropped our trailer reaction to Renfield. That's coming out with Nicolas Cage and Awkwafina, and Nicholas Hoult,
and Schwartz.
Which I have to admit, if you guys have not seen that trailer for Renfield, go and watch it. It is hilarious. It kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And this is a role that Nicolas Cage is just born to do. Check it out. It's hilarious.
Yes. And then what else do we have coming up? We filmed a reaction to Plane because a couple of you guys were asking about it, and I was like, Jar Butler, sure, why not? And then when we saw it, we're like, oh, Michael Coulter is in this as well as Yosa An. Sold. So that'll be up probably later, if not tomorrow, because I have to work on Bad Batch episode 1 and 2 still. But we did miss the live stream yesterday, so we really wanted to come on and do one to kind of give you guys some news updates just in general, as well as talk about our most anticipated movies and TV shows of 2023. So with that, that Star Wars guy in the chat says, hello there. Hello there.
Hello there.
2023 is going to be crazy. Oh, and Robo Striker writes, Wendy and Dustin, did you guys watch the fireworks display during the New Year's Eve? Actually, we didn't.
No, unfortunately, most of all of those New Year's Eve celebration, watching the ball drop or whatever LA does. Oh, is that a little hot for you?
Oh my gosh. Tervis, it works.
How about you have a little bit more cool your mouth down with a little liquid IV that you can get with your promo code, The Movie Couple, for 20% off and free shipping. That's guava.
Oh my God, my tongue is on fire.
You okay? Aw. Does it make your tongue feel a little bit better? You're like, no, it still hurts.
The front part of my tongue can't taste anything. Because
really? So you can't even taste what flavor that is?
If it's the back of the tongue, yes. I can feel I can taste the flavor, but I can't. That burned my tongue real bad. Brian Perez says, what are you drinking? I just made some green tea with honey because it's really cold. And by cold, I mean it's
California cold.
California cold.
But I have to admit, here in California, we got some crazy weather. Fortunately, we're in Southern California, and there's still places that flooded here in Southern California. Nowhere near as bad as what's happening up in the Bay Area. So glad we're down. I feel like we're getting kind of like the tail end of it down here.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's crazy a little bit further north in Northern California.
Yeah. What's insane is that Dustin was like, so a couple of things I saw on Twitter, because I haven't left Twitter yet. Somebody was calling it a Category 5 storm, and I'm like, no, that's not like, that's reserved for like typhoons and hurricanes. You can't just call a storm a Category 5 just because it's bad. But then Dustin showed me like an actual, like a space view map of the
radar, or like Doppler.
The Doppler, and it's somebody like they're calling it the bomb cyclone, and I don't know if that's scientific term or that somebody just coined it, but it does have that very signature rotation that you would see in a hurricane. And as someone who's lived through many hurricanes,
you're like, that looks familiar.
I was like, oh, okay, it's pretty densely packed. It's much smaller, but it's also bringing a lot of rain, a lot of storm, which like a storm like that hitting Florida, a state that is much better prepared than something like the Bay Area, that's not like a natural thing that happens every year, though it did happen last year as well. I think something very similar. That's why they're dealing with flooding and things like that, because a city like that isn't normally prepared for a storm system like that one. So we're reading a lot of like just horrible things happening up there. So if you're up there, you have power, you're watching us, like, for this next hour.
Stay safe. Don't go out there unless you don't have to.
Yes.
Honestly, that happened to me.
In the water. Don't do that.
I went to work today and they're like, yeah, we're flooded. Go home. Which is why we're able to do a live stream today and talk to you guys about our most anticipated movies and a little bit of movie news that we wanted to discuss. Yes. So which time? Oh, let's do our super chat first.
Let's do our super chat from Marvin Martin.
Thank you, Marvin.
Thank you, Marvin. Marvin writes, movie Citizen X about USSR serial killer.
Ooh.
The USSR?
Mm-hmm. So back Russia during the 1980s? I can't remember. What is the span of the Soviet Union? I can't remember the exact years. Oh. But yeah, so it probably takes place either in an alternate world where the USSR still is around.
Wow.
And Navi is dying to come up here. She's like, Daddy, I want to say hi to everybody. Hi. But that's all. I always like those what if stories, Hey, what if the Soviet Union didn't collapse? What if
is that what this is about?
I don't know. I don't know if it's one of those what if kind of storylines.
Because you said it with such confidence. Let's see. Jon Snow theory, ghost/dragon lay an egg named Falkor. I mean, I love that.
Falkor!
Artaxerxes and Winds of the Winter is a never-ending story. Oh. We love a never-ending story.
Yeah, we do have a special attachment to the never-ending story, since
we named our dog after.
We named our dog after the luck dragon Falkor.
Marvin Martin, with some clarification, says it's a true story.
Oh, okay. So that means it probably takes place either in during the Cold War, probably.
Citizen X. I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh, and Adnan says 1917 to 1989.
Okay.
Wow.
So for any of you history guys out there, yeah, that's the age of the Soviet Union, of the USSR.
There you go. Thank you so much, Marvin, for your super chat and for letting us know about all of your recommendations. We enjoy them as always. So thank you so much for that. And then before we go into our first news topic here, we have a super chat from Anthony Solis.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Anthony writes, hey, Dustin, Wendy, and Movie Bunch. Hope you all doing... And Navi! That face. Hope you all doing good and being safe out there. Happy to be here with y'all. Yeah, Anthony gets to hang out this time because normally he's on his lunch break watching us and he just kind of drops by to say hello. So we are very excited you get to hang out with us for the duration today. And with that, thank you, everybody, for being here on a day that we don't normally live stream, but had the opportunity to do it. So we said, let's seize the day and let's do it. And if you guys want to there's 25 of you guys watching. If you kindly hit that thumbs up button, really helps us out, get more visibility on our channel here on YouTube. And with that, let's go ahead and get into Newsflash. And one of the first things I do want to talk about is a little bit of Jeremy Renner update. So when we first saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds awful. And I didn't really fully comprehend what exactly happened because obviously none of us are there. And there was an audio recording.
Oh, really?
Of the dispatch.
Oh, okay.
But that's something, if I didn't have to hear, I don't want to I don't find joy hearing people in distress, So I was like, I'll just read the transcription. So there is an update. Jeremy Renner took to his own personal social media account, I think it was Instagram, to actually send out a post of a picture of him. And he didn't type it. I'm assuming a family member did that for him, but that he is doing okay. So what happened, and I have, this is the article by CNN. That says, so there is actually a picture of him. He's got the little oxygen tube on. His face is,
really
the man went through something, pretty traumatic. So there's some bruising on his face, just for trigger warning and stuff like that. We're not going to show the picture. If you want to see it, you can actually, let me go ahead and put this link in the chat. I think I can allow links.
I think so. Well, especially if you're putting it
wait, this isn't Twitch. So
even though it did get put up on Twitch.
Yeah.
And hi to all those who are watching us on Twitch.
Modeman 101 says, hi, 13ND and 5
Does the Fiefton.
That's kind of like a play on the M3 and Megan spelling. Love that.
We
Love
also,
that.
we also do have our review for Megan up there, or M3
M3
up on our channel. If you guys get a chance, if you like those kind of, horror movie slash, it's an interesting film. I'd have to say, definitely watch a couple of.
To drink my drink.
Breathe, Wendy. Breathe. You gotta slurp it.
I don't want to slurp
it.
I'm over. I was trying to like put it up to. You know what? It can wait. It's fine. Sorry.
If you need some, I have some water.
Thank you so much. Cassie Banks says, when I first heard about Jeremy Renner, my heart broke. Cassie says, he's my favorite Marvel hero. I've been sending prayers and Reiki. Oh, nice. Yeah, send some Reiki healing. Okay, so here's what the article says. You guys want to click on that link that will lead you to the CNN article. But he is awake, and I think he's had his surgery because there was some surgery necessary. So
probably needs some more.
Maybe, possibly, but it does seem like he's having a visit with his mom, his sister, some family members, and he's thanking everybody for sending their love. And so here is what happened. So he's continuing to recover from, he's had 2 surgeries now following the injury, and this happened with the snow plow on New Year's Day near his Nevada home. So basically he has his own snow plow. He's operated before. There's a video from in the past of him using the snow plow. So it seems like he knows what he's doing, and if this is his home, it makes sense that he would know.
And when they said snow plow, I was thinking of like one of those little machines.
Like a lawnmower almost?
Not a lawnmower, but maybe a little bit bigger version of that. When I saw this video, this thing's a tractor. I mean, it is huge.
Like you're sitting in it and you're driving
and it looks like it was almost, and it looks like you can almost, it's so well adapted to the snow and the way it's designed that it looks like it's almost like a snow racing vehicle, but it's ginormous, huge thing, a lot bigger than I had actually originally thought when they had said, when we first read the article and got the news.
And I guess it makes sense if he's on his private home. I assume that the home has some like acre surrounding.
Yeah.
You know, it's got some, he's got like an extended property and land. So it would make sense that he would purchase something of that size in order to, you know, and not having to like task grab at somebody to, or wait for the city or the state to come and do it. So what happened was he was helping clear snow out of the driveway to help a family member leave his house after like, you know, like getting together for the holidays when that happened. And so he was essentially like the whole entire plow was like had like run him over. It doesn't say it on his on this specific article, but in another one that I read was he had cleared the snow and he had gotten out of the snow vehicle
to help like someone who was pulled over
or something that is unclear. But then the plow started to either tip over and move, so he started to get back into it, and allegedly that is when the incident happened. And like, just I can't imagine being ran over by anything ever,
let alone something the size of that tractor. And also there's a lot of things here to be happy for. The fact that there was someone who had medical training on site,
his neighbor.
So his neighbor was able to tourniquet his wounds, make sure he didn't bleed out. And then they were able to airlift him to the hospital. And I am just glad that he is alive, that he is well, that he is, you know, the fact that when we first heard it was, oh yeah, he's in critical but stable condition. You're like, critical but stable condition? That's intense.
That's intense.
And
he suffered
to see some of those pictures where he's all messed up on the side,
and that's just his face.
They're just showing his face.
There's no need for them to show, like, that's very private. But like he lost a lot of they were saying he lost a lot of blood. There's orthopedic injury, so that's assuming his leg or legs, and there was blunt chest trauma. Luckily for like Jeremy, I think with him, one, they were able to get to him as quickly as they did and was able to airlift him to a hospital to get him treatment right away. And two, that there was a neighbor on site who happens to be a doctor who was able to help treat and before the rescue came, and that Jeremy is a fairly active and in shape person.
I know that's something
so
that's
I
going
think
to be
hopefully that helped with his recovery.
Yeah, that just seems like something that is so. I think the biggest disappointment about hearing something like this, one is the fact that he got injured while trying to help someone. It's just like, so it's like very painful to hear about.
Yeah.
And also the fact knowing that he is such an active person, that he does so many action movies, that he does so many stunts, so many fight scenes. I mean, from Hawkeye to Mission Impossible to The Bourne Identity, he is an action star. So to hear that, it's his legs that got all messed up, I'm just hoping that he can make a full recovery and be able to go back to these roles that he has spent so much hard time and energy and blood, sweat, and tears on cultivating. And just to have one small event kind of wipe that all out.
Yes.
I mean, I also, when we were talking about this earlier, one of the things that came to mind was also Paul Walker, how he was doing that fundraiser. He was trying to help people. And it's charity. That charity. And then the accident that happened, it was just one of those things that I'm just really glad to hear that Jeremy Renner is okay, that he's alive and that he's able to, thoughts and prayers will go out.
So Cassie, for a little bit more context, put this in the chat. The Telluride, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, properties are all private. So they have no city snow plowing. He plows several roads in his area. They talk about it in the video. Oh, that's right. That's like a thing that he does.
Yeah, for everyone.
It's not just like, this is my property and I will clear it.
I'll only do mine. No,
that's a nice thing. That's a nice thing for him.
That he does that for everyone.
Yeah. So thank you for putting that in there, Cassie.
And it shows just how good of a person Jeremy Renner is, and the fact that he's going to be coming out. I'm wondering about the status of that show that he was going to do with Disney Plus, the renovations. If he's now going to be more of, he'll be on camera, but he's not able to do as much of the work as he wanted to.
I think the point is always that he was going to be like, they would have a construction team and an architect and contractors that will handle it, but he'll kind of be the face and like the hosting part of it. Yeah. So I think his injury won't really play into it as much, if that's like the kind of the vibe that I was thinking of. Like they could show him do little bits here and there, but if you're watching like HGTV, like the host will come in with a hard hat and they'll have ideas thought out, but I don't think he's going to be too hands-on. Maybe he wanted to.
And that's the whole thing. That's what I really think. I think he's going to want to be hands-on. So it's going to be difficult for him not to be able to do that.
Yeah. So that was in the slate. I don't even think they shot it yet. I think it's just got greenlit. So it'll just be put on hold until he's fully recovered. And that's a show that's kind of evergreen though.
Yeah. You can kind of do that whenever he's actually up and running again.
I don't think there's a rush for him to like, Jeremy, you better recover. Like, I don't think anybody is saying that to him. Like,
it's not like you're in the middle of filming. The middle of filming a huge multi-billion-dollar, million-dollar, what is that called? Marvel movie or something.
And for that, there's workarounds too. They can shoot other people's scene first and have them come back later.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at what happened during Black Panther. Yeah. Black Panther 2. Yeah. The fact that they were able to, someone got, what's her name, got seriously injured, and they're like, okay, we'll film everyone else's.
Yeah.
We'll come back to you once you're in shape again.
Yes. Okay, so with that, thoughts and prayers to Jeremy and his family for a speedy recovery. And let's go ahead and move on to our next bit of news. And let's talk about Michael Giacchino. We know that he is a composer, award-winning composer. Why is my alarm going off?
Oh, you're getting... I know, it's always so weird sometimes.
I had a timer on, but for no reason. I don't know why did I...
I have done that.
At a specific 2:26.
I'm going to set my alarm for this time to remind me to do something. Why is the alarm going off?
It didn't even say. It just says timer's up. I don't know. In any case, let's talk about Michael Giacchino. We know that he has already directed they call it a special presentation. I like to call it a movie for Disney Plus, and that is Werewolf by Night. It's still available on Disney Plus. So if you haven't watched it yet, give it a chance because it's so good.
Yeah, if you guys have not gotten a chance to see Werewolf by Night, it is I love the style of it. I love the way they executed it. They did an amazing job on
Yes.
that series of Werewolf by Night.
And we have a reaction for that.
Oh yeah, we have a reaction
Yeah, so if you guys want to watch
up on our
that.
channel. And I just remember hearing this somewhere. It's not confirmed. I don't know if it's 100% confirmed or not, but the girl character in Werewolf by Night, the lead, what's her name? She was the family member. I can't remember names. I'm terrible. But she might make an appearance in Blade.
Who might?
The main lead in that, the one who wins at the end with the stone. And everyone else.
You got to backtrack because I was laughing at Blade's comment and
What? 10 minutes later.
About the timer. That is so me, Blade. How do you know? How do you know?
Do you smell?
Oh,
fire?
Elsa Bloodstone.
Thank you so much. That Elsa Bloodstone.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez.
Will be, or not. There's a possibility that Elsa Bloodstone might make an appearance in Blade. I think that'd be so cool.
That would be so cool. Excuse me. That would be so cool. Yeah, Lola Donnelly. A fantastic performance by her and the cast in Werewolf by Night. So Michael Giacchino is not stopping there. He's like, yes, I have made my, I guess, small screen directorial debut, but his, gonna keep going. He's like, I can be a composer, I can be a director. He's got a creative mind.
I can do all of it.
Yeah, so he's going to be making his feature film directorial debut at Warner Brothers, and he's going to do a take on Them. So this is a reboot of the 1954 sci-fi man-eating monster movie. This is just so, it lines up with what he did with Werewolf by Night, right? Kind of this horror pick, but
you could also do it in black and white.
Yeah.
It kind of fits the genre.
Yeah.
And to see him do something again like this, I think that's a really fun, just to be able to kind of take this 1950s sci-fi movie and be able to okay, let's have fun with this.
Yeah.
And just turn it into something that fits in the modern day, keep it black and white, and just kind of have fun with it.
Yeah.
I think because if you completely flop on this movie, I don't think there's going to be many people that get too pissed off about how could you have ruined them.
I never even heard of the movie Them until now. And here's the plot of the original film, which was directed by Gordon Douglas, and it was also a Warner Brothers release. So it says a huge nest of irradiated ants are discovered in the New Mexico desert and becomes a national threat when two young queen ants and their consorts escape to set up new nests. The national search that ensues culminates in a battle of spillways and storm drains of, this sounds...
Oh, that means they probably come crawling out.
In the drains of Los Angeles. Sorry, I had to finish that. So Giacchino says this, quote, "There's always a movie in your mind that never leaves your head. And for me, that's them. Them! Exclamation point. It wasn't until much later in life until I learned what it was about, the nuclear age." Ooh, okay.
So it's going to be kind of like Godzilla, but ants, to where it's just the nuclear age causing these ants to become ginormous and starting to invade the world.
Yeah, so he's changing it up a little bit because it is a fresh take, as the article says on Deadline. So what he likes is that and this is a quote from him, what I love about Them is exactly what it's called, Them. It's about the other unknown, which one refuses or can't understand. The current version of Them is about immigration and to tell a story about the subject through a lens of this insane sci-fi monster movie. And that is the tease for his early version of the feature film. So very excited about this, and obviously he'll also continue composing and stuff like that, but I love that he's able to do both. So that's pretty cool. That's a sweet spot for any creative person.
Yeah,
I want to do my music, I don't have to give that up to direct.
To be able to choose exactly what you do and they're both very much passions in your life is a great blessing. So I am excited for him to be able to take on this new project, especially something that it seems like he's had kind of a connection to for quite a while. It's one of those things that you're like, oh yeah, and maybe when I become big and famous, I'll be able to do a remake of Them. but I'm not there yet. So, but once it does finally come around, you're like, I could do this.
I wonder if this was already kind of in talks for him before Werewolf by Night even came out, or was it that people saw the success of Werewolf by Night and how well done it was, and they said, hey, we want to talk to you more about them. So,
Yeah.
Really, really like that. Looking forward to his official feature film directorial debut. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next piece of news. And of course, if you're still here, if you're hanging out with us, enjoying the conversation, we're going to be talking about our most anticipated movies and TV shows of 2023 very soon. Go ahead and give this video a like. I was going to say live stream.
Yeah, and also if you're not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, because then you won't miss any of the other videos that come out on our channel, and it helps us out a lot here too.
Okay, a couple of I think this is the last news flash we have before Willow, a little bit of light Willow talk, and then our most anticipated movies of 2023. So Dustin read that there is, we're treating this as a rumor because it's not confirmed by Disney or Lucasfilm or Star Wars, that there could be a Mandalorian spin-off. And you're like, what else could they spin off? They're already doing the Ahsoka. So what could there be? I feel like that universe has been built so that it could expand.
Yeah.
They could do a full-on like Mandalorian, like the Katie Sackhoff led series.
That's what I'm thinking, is that they're going to spin off, because in this season, I mean, allegedly in this season of The Mandalorian, it's going to take place a lot on, or a good chunk of it. It's going to, oh my gosh, did you burn yourself again?
Ow!
Wendy, why did you do that?
The Tervis, guys, it works.
It
Not
keeps your drinks
sponsored.
boiling hot for many, many hours.
I almost did a spit take just now. It was so hot. I didn't know what to do.
Oh my God, that would have been hilarious. But that is my guess, that I could have handed it to you.
I'm just the best today.
Is that they're going to do a spinoff. It's not called Mandalorian, but Mandalorians or something along that line. And it's going to focus on Bo-Katan. It's going to focus on Mandalorian. It's going to focus on the race of Mandalorians, and
could
not
they call the Night Owl? Well, they couldn't really call it that anymore, could they?
You know what it could do? They could call it Death Watch.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if Bo-Katan would bring Death Watch back after what happened with Darth Maul.
Yeah, it could be a whole different thing centered around her. So that'd be cool. And then the direct, this is what they are reporting. So we already know Ahsoka's coming. That's in a way a spinoff, in a way not really, because I feel like Ahsoka had already existed before we even saw season one of the character, I mean, her story, before we even saw season one of The Mandalorian. So I think they're just using The Mandalorian as a jumping off point for Ahsoka to establish where she is now in her age and her journey. So you could call that a spinoff, not really, but here is what they're saying. So where is that quote? Here it is. According to the rumor, the project, this supposed alleged spinoff, is currently codenamed Ghost Track 17. Is she okay?
Oh, it's
getting big.
I don't know if it's getting big, but it's just there.
Sorry, we're looking at Navi. Sorry for the distraction, guys. So
we're very all over the place today.
Focus, because we can get through this. Ghost Track 17. So there's no other details other than the code name. So Ghost, according to this article, could allude to the ship that we saw in Rebels.
I was thinking that too.
But it's Ghost Track.
Yeah.
So, but also like these code names could just mean nothing.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I'm saying? They don't really have to be connected to. I think if Ghost Track 17 does allude to like Ghost the
ship,
airship, it's too close, and I think that's too obvious.
Yeah, I think they never.
But it could be. It's a good guess.
Some of these names, the secret names that they give their projects, usually don't have a specific connective meaning to the project itself. There's usually like some hidden underbelly of what it actually does connect to. But I love the fact that they are expanding the Mandoverse.
Yeah,
and I love the fact that they call it that too. They are, I mean,
The
the Mandoverse.
like it.
And so because you have Ahsoka, Boba Fett, Mandalorian, we don't know if Skeleton Crew that is coming out is going to have some connections to the Mandoverse. So I love the fact that they're telling us more. They found a good storyline and a good style of Star Wars storytelling, and they're sticking with it. And I love the fact that it's still Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau that are working together on expanding this. This is some of the best Star Wars that I have seen. In my personal opinion, I love the Mandoverse. I love some of the stories that they're telling. I cannot wait for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are going to bring in Grand Admiral Thrawn, the fact that they mentioned that in season 2 of Mandalorian, and that leaves a possibility of Grand Admiral Thrawn being a huge threat, almost a Thanos level threat. And you can kind of bring in Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Skeleton Crew, this new spinoff, and they're all kind of teaming together to teaming up together to take down Grand Admiral Thrawn. So, and there's a lot of other threats too that go with Grand Admiral Thrawn. You have the rogue clone Jedi that is mentioned in the book. Can't remember his name. I'll remember his name later. But that is mentioned in the Thrawn trilogy. So I think there's a lot of room to grow, a lot of good stories to tell. So I'm excited about them expanding the universe for Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian, yeah. And I see in the comments, you guys are saying, could it be a Sabine spinoff? It could.
Very true.
It could. Like we can have like the Ahsoka, and then the spinoff could be like, what was she doing before she met back up with Ahsoka? Because I think there's been some time, especially if you think from the end of Rebels to where they also at the end of Rebels met up again. But some time has passed. So yeah, we will we will see if there indeed is going to be a spinoff and so they can expand the Mandoverse.
Marvin Martin, Luke. I mean, that is the story everyone has wanted to see since the end of Return of the Jedi, is Luke building up his Jedi Temple. Those were the best episodes in Book of Boba Fett. So it could very well be a Luke spinoff movie. I mean, TV series. Yeah. I would love to see that. And Joras Sabayoth, thank you. As soon as I was like, I know it, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Thank you, Doug.
Doug, thank you so much. If you guys have not gotten a chance to read those books, that series of books, Heir to the Empire, great series, really good read.
Yes. All right. So we'll keep you guys updated if we hear any sort of like confirmation or maybe more news and development in regards to a possible Mandalorian spinoff. And with that, let's talk a little bit about Willow really quick. Episode 7.
Episode 7. I have to admit, probably one of the best episodes of Willow. Yes, and we will be diving into spoilers. I don't think I'm going to specifically pick some things out. I'm going to try to keep it a little vague.
Yeah.
Because it did just come out 2 days ago. Yesterday.
Yesterday.
So yeah, if you are here and you are worried about spoilers for Willow, we are going to start diving into some of those.
Yes. With Willow, I'm not going to say we because I'm going to just speak from my point. I really enjoyed episode 1 and 2. I really, really liked it. And I was like, okay, it has a little bit of a build. They dropped a big bomb that, who Elora Danan is and how old she is and the journey they're about to go on. I'm like, well, okay, this show has potential. And then episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6 for us was I was a little disappointed because I just wanted so much more. And I just felt like it was dragging a little bit. The pacing is really what bothered me. Pacing and some of the editing choices really got to me, and it makes me wonder what was the full extent. Like, what did they shoot and what did they cut? Because I felt like some parts are just so choppy that it makes the story weird.
Yeah, and not just choppy, but it really did seem like they're like, let's go over here, now let's go over there, now let's go this way. And it really does seem, like they edited it wrong. Like they took some big parts out to explain these big, like, how did we even get to this point?
Right.
Or why are we even on this subject? It was very, like you said, choppy, getting to skipping parts and not revealing, and just it was all over the place.
It was all over the place until episode 7, where they are getting very, very close to their destination, which is and their main quest, which is the immemorial city to save Kit's brother Eric. But before they do that, they have to cross the scattered sea, or the shattered sea.
Shattered sea.
The shattered. Oh, I keep saying it wrong. I have to change. I think I have to change some of the titling on some of the stuff. Okay, I'll do that later. But this was such a fun episode to watch. We got a lot of character development from, I think, especially Kit and Willow. I enjoyed watching because I feel like, and Elora, because I feel like some of the other characters, Jade, Borman, Graydon, they kind of had little mini arcs and little developments throughout the episode, which could be a reason why I felt more connected to those 3 characters than some of the quote unquote main characters. But in this one, we really got, especially I think for Kit and for Willow, like the 2 of them really spoke about their insecurities and kind of facing their fears, and that was really great to see. Also, like Kit and Elora finally like squashing this beef that they have. I was like, you guys don't need beef, you can totally get along, I promise. And to see that is really cool. And they brought some of the baddies back, and just the montage. There's the montage of them traveling across the Shattered Sea. The training montage between Elora and Willow was so good. I was cool. Like, oh, I wanted this like just sprinkled throughout the season. It would have been so good.
Navi farted. Oh. Navi farted, so she has lost laugh privileges. I'm sorry, Navi. Go lay down. You farted on Daddy. Go.
She looked like you betrayed her.
Says the one that farted on me.
I'm kind of glad I still don't have my smell back 100%. Because since COVID, because I can't smell anything, which is great for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not when it comes to delicious food, when I can barely detect it, but when incidences like this is good.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a really fantastic series, and we kind of get a different Eric, a newer, battier.
Yeah.
A battier Eric.
I have to admit, I like the way this new Eric looks.
Yeah.
I mean, he had like that slick cut hair. He has that leather armor, that sword sticking out his back. He actually looks kind of badass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. So what happened between him and the girl who I think is a crone in disguise? We will find out next week on the season finale. But you guys, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And let us know what you are hoping to see in the season finale for Willow as she walks, as Navi walks away.
All harumphy.
She's very. She gave us a side glare, like. Sorry about the bots, guys. Moon Man says, "Sure, Dustin, blame Navi."
Oh yeah, honestly, that's one of the easy scapegoats too. You're like, "Oh, sorry, hon, the dog did it." It was the dog.
I couldn't tell you. I really can't. I can't. There's a lot of things I still can't smell. So, we don't know, Black Mono. Like, we're not sure why. I keep blocking them, and they just make new accounts, and they come back. So, I mean,
they can't get very much attention from our...
I report them all to YouTube. So, like, I go onto their actual channel, and I report that account to YouTube, and I screenshot and all that stuff, because that's a no.
Yeah.
All right, so that is essentially wrapping up our Willow talk. Unless you have something else to add.
No. I mean, if you guys want to see our thoughts, our more in-depth thoughts and reaction, we do have the video up on YouTube. And if you are a Patreon member, you can actually watch the entire watch through on our Patreon.
Yes.
So if that's something that you guys are interested in watching, it's up there and available.
Nice. All right. So with that, we are gonna go ahead and
to the big topic of the day, the one that will probably take us into the over hour and a half mark, because we're going to talk about all of our most anticipated movies and TV shows coming out in 2023.
Yes,
and there's a lot of them.
There is a lot of them. So we'll start with do you want to start with TV shows first or movies first?
You know what, TV shows is actually a shorter list, so we could dive into TV shows first. Oh, you okay?
In pain.
Oh, see, even when, unfortunately, Wendy was like this, but 100 times more yesterday, and she was just sore. She was tired. She was grumpy, and I felt so bad. And so
I wanted to be a villain yesterday. So bad. All right, so let's talk about. You said you wanted to do.
I have a shorter list for TV shows, but
My list is shorter as well.
But we do have. What would you guys throw in the chats? Movies or TV shows first?
We got 1 vote for movies from Robo Striker.
2. Oh yeah. I thought that was someone else, but yeah, the same person. So 1 vote for, but also, I mean, because on this list that I have for movies, it's not just my most anticipated ones, but the ones that are, I'm like, okay, this seems interesting. I'm interested in it because most anticipated are the ones that have to have big hype behind it. I personally think, you know, the ones that you've been waiting for since they announced it, kind of a thing. So, this list is kind of big.
Yeah. All right. So, it's pretty even. 1, 2, 3, 4 votes for TV shows. 1, 2.
Well, then here.
Votes for movies.
Let us do it the high-tech scientific way.
Well, I feel like the chat voted.
Oh, okay. So the chat voted?
Yeah. I mean, we're going to talk about...
I thought it was even Steven.
We're going to... No. Right now, the TV show is winning. We'll do both, but we'll do TV first, because I think we can actually get through TV faster.
Okay, let's do that.
What is the first
going to
TV
flip
show?
My John Wick coin that I got.
Go ahead and flip it. If you want to flip it, I think we're still going to do... Wait, which one's which?
I don't know.
Disastrous.
Okay, so let's
go ahead and do TV shows.
Okay. Do you want to start with some things that we're anticipating?
Yes.
Or mostly anticipating?
Anticipating that's coming up very soon.
Okay. The one thing that is coming up very, very soon that I am gnawing.
Oh, we're not going to talk about the same one. Okay.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. You go first then.
It's not like my most anticipated, but it's the closer one to release, and that is The Last of Us.
Yes. That is
January
on my list.
Is the day.
I am excited for this. I mean, just the hype over.
Go ahead.
The hype over the video game and the hype over the casting and the story behind this. I am super excited. Actually, I don't think that's actually my John Wick coin. I thought it was the John Wick coin, but that is
it's something else.
Yeah, it's something else that I got.
Karen.
So, is that the
Is this from Guardians of the?
Yeah, I think it's from
Glory to the Terran Empire, but then it says Imperial Starfleet, ISS Enterprise.
Oh, well, I don't think it's Star Trek.
No, but
hide my face.
I don't think it wants to show it. There it goes.
Yay. But yeah, that's the coin.
All right.
Later on, I'll see if I can find what I did with the John Wick coin. But The Last of Us has such from what I have heard about the game, which I have not played yet, which I really, really want to, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it before the TV show comes out. So I'm going to wait for the TV show to be over, and then I'm going to attack the game.
Yes.
Because I find that that's also a fun way of doing it. It's kind of like watching the movie first and then reading the book, which is always the way I think that if you haven't seen either of the material, first watch the movie and then read the book, because you get like behind the scenes and you get more deleted footage from the book than you do from the movie, because they have to edit, script, and cut to fit it into a movie.
There was, I think HBO Max just released like a behind the scene or behind the camera, sort of like a mini peek into like a special presentation. But it's short, it's not super long, for The Last of Us. And Bella Ramsey, who is going to play Ellie, actually said that she was advised to not play the game, which makes sense, because they do tell actors this a little bit, especially if you're not portraying a real life person, like in a biopic, sort of like, for example, they would never tell Austin Butler to not watch and study Elvis when he's supposed to play Elvis, right? Like that would be a very interesting take. But for something like this, I think they just wanted her to go with her gut emotion and kind of her understanding of this character. But Bella Ramsey is like, okay, so I didn't play it, but I still watched the gameplay. Like she still, and I get it, because you want to. It's such a popular game, and you're playing these two very iconic characters in the gaming world, that she wants to do a good job. And as an actor, she was like, no, I'm gonna do my research. So yeah, maybe I won't play the game So some things can still be a surprise for her when she gets, sometimes they do that for a natural reaction.
Yeah, and sometimes it's really important to know what people are expecting when you do a role. It's like the fans are going to be expecting as close to the video game as you can get, and still keeping the characters true. If you do something that's completely different or change it up, you're going to have a lot of really pissed off fans. So I feel like, for actors, being able to see some of it, or at least watch the whole thing,
Yes,
to go through of the game, is a smart move.
Yeah, so that is one of the shows on our most anticipated 2023 list, and luckily it's not that far away, so we're very excited. And we'll definitely be doing reactions to that, guys, so tune in for that. So subscribe to the channel.
Also coming up pretty soon is a series or an adaptation of a comic book that I have been dying to see, and that's Secret Invasion. I have loved, this has been one of my favorite storylines of the MCU. When they've had Civil War, I was super excited. But to see them do Secret Invasion with the Skrulls and seeing them infiltrate Earth is so exciting. And I'm glad that they're doing this as a series and not as a movie, because it's going to take a lot of espionage, a lot of kind of what they've done in Captain America, to where it is that spy thriller that's really going to have to focus for Secret Invasion, that I'm just super excited for. You don't know who to trust, who's who, who's what,
who's a Skrull,
who's not a Skrull.
You really can't trust anybody. You really can't trust anybody in that. So that is...
Can't even trust yourself.
You really can't.
Well, actually, in the comic books, that was one of the big things that they got Tony Stark to believe in, is that the Queen Skrull was like, "You're really a Skrull, Tony." And they were like, "No, we deleted your memory and put in only the memories of Tony Stark."
Oh, it's going to be a mind bend.
And then Tony was like, "I don't know I don't even know if I could trust myself."
Wow.
But of course, he outsmarts them in the end. And it is a phenomenal series. It's if you get a chance, go out and buy like the graphic novel of it and check it out. Highly recommended.
And then the next show on both of our lists, I'm pretty safe. We can feel like it's a pretty safe bet to say this, and it's also coming up January 20th is when season 2 arrives. That is The Legend of Vox Machina. Somebody called it in the chat earlier. They're like, "I bet you this is on their list." Who said it?
It's not just on my list. This is, I didn't want to mention it right off the top, but The Legend of Vox Machina season 2 is at the top of my list. I loved season 1. I loved what they did with it. I loved how they captured the essence of the story from that one section of season 1. The way they captured the characters, the way they did everything was amazing. And I cannot wait for them to dive into season 2. If you guys loved it, I want to see some thumbs up in the emojis. I wish I had some critter emojis to throw in there. And to hear that not only are we getting a season 2, but they've already been greenlight for season 3. I hope we get like season 4 or season 5. We get the entirety of the Vox Machina campaign. And right after that, they dive right on in to the Mighty 9. Yeah. And who knows? Maybe it continues to be successful and we get a little Bell's Hells in there as well.
Yeah, that'd be really, really cool. So we really liked how they adapted those hour-long campaigns into these pretty easy to digest episodes,
and still keep some of the things that happen in the game that were just funny little moments in the series.
So I think a lot of people worry that they have to either know of like Critical Role and what they do, or like have watched the campaign. I feel like Late to the Party, who did reactions to the Vox Machina, Legend of Vox Machina season 1, is like the perfect example of, you don't really need to know anything about Critical Role or the campaign, or even like the rules and how to play Dungeons and Dragons to enjoy this, because it's high fantasy, it's adult, more adult theme, so there's gore things. So think like Invincible. It's kind of that type of like gore. So just know that going in. It's not like don't sit your 8-year-old in front of the TV and say go.
It's a cartoon. It's for kids.
There's some adult things in that show that you definitely like. Parental guidance is encouraged,
but between like
discretion is encouraged.
Between me, you, and late to the party, that's a good spread of someone who loves D&D and has watched the entire campaign, someone who loves D&D but has never watched the campaign, and people who never really played D&D but just watched the TV show. So you get a good span between the four of us on what it's like, and the fact that we all loved it, even if you know absolutely nothing. Highly recommend Legend of Vox Machina. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yes. What is the next TV show on your list, if you have any more?
Oh, I've got tons on my list.
Name a few off, because otherwise we'll stay here forever.
Okay. So let's just do some quick little honorable mentions and things that I am excited for. I am excited for Avatar, the Last Airbender live action coming out on Netflix. It looks like they're putting a lot of money into this. It looks like they're putting a lot of time, blood, sweat, and tears. Great casting. So I'm hoping that they stay a lot closer to the anime source material this time around, but still excited to see what they do with it. Echo, I'm excited for. It's a Marvel property, so I'm excited to see almost anything that comes out with Marvel. Speaking of Marvel, the other shows that they have coming out, Ironheart and Agatha, Coven of Chaos.
Yes, they just, I think it's, I don't know if it's confirmed or rumored, but and she's already been made her a cameo in WandaVision, but Kitty from the 70s show, Deborah Jo Rupp, I think that's how you say her last name.
Oh, yeah.
She's also rumored to be cast in that show.
Oh.
So I feel like if we're still operating within where we last saw Agatha and what Wanda did to her, like, is it the aftermath of that, or are we getting a little bit of both? Like a little bit of like origin story of Agatha, which we kind of saw a little bit already in WandaVision, but I really wonder. I'm very, 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 very excited.
And another show that's coming out for Disney Plus too that I'm excited for, X-Men 97.
Yeah,
I was raised on that show, that cartoon. So I'm excited to see them continue and completely forget that last season of X-Men ever happened, because it was so bad. Didn't Echo get delayed to?
Oh, I think it did, right?
That's possible. Honestly, I mean, it's hard to find because sometimes since they switched some dates around, they could have, they might have bumped Echo back. So, but I'm still excited to see it when it does come out.
Yes. And then since we're talking Disney Plus shows, obviously Mandalorian season 3, we're super excited for. Ahsoka, we're super excited for. I don't feel like we need to spend too much time on either of those two properties,
because we know how excited we
already
are.
You guys have seen, we have already done season 1 and 2 reaction for the Mandalorian. Ahsoka is one of my favorite, if not the favorite Star Wars character of mine. So ready for both of those shows.
And also Loki season 2.
Yeah, Ki-Hee Kwan's in it this year.
Yep, I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to see them talk a little bit more about Kang, because that's going to be the exposition. That's where a lot of the exposition, I think, for Kang is going to be, like the heavy exposition, because you have the time to do that in Loki season 3, and we know he's going to be a huge part of Loki season 3.
Yeah, so we're super excited. Here's a couple of ones that are definitely not on your list. That are on mine. Idol, that is coming to, I want to say, HBO Max. It stars Lily Rose Depp, but the main reason I'm watching it is because Jennie Kim of Blackpink is in it. I don't know how big of a role she's in. I just know she's in it, so I will watch it for her. Watching it for Jennie Kim, because it's her acting debut. American show too. So that's huge, because for anybody who doesn't know, Blackpink is a South Korean girl group, consists of 4 members, and K-pop, and Dustin and I went to see them in concert.
Blackpink in your area. Got one of her light sticks.
Yeah.
Squeak squeak. And then Navi comes in like, you got a toy?
Got a toy. No, she doesn't. The squeak for this doesn't really.
Yeah, get her.
Like, no, she's just kind of like, whatever that is. She's like, oh, that's mom's toy.
You know, another movie, another TV show that I'm actually excited to see that we got to go to, like, not the launch party, but one of the big activations when we were at Comic-Con was American Born Chinese.
Yes, I got to meet Daniel Wu,
Mm-hmm.
who was so nice. He asked me, I was holding a glass of boba because they were giving out boba at the event. How fitting. And it was good boba. It was really, really good. And he looked at my cup. Like right before I asked for the photo, I was like, hey, can I? He's like, hey, where'd you get the boba? I'm like, that is the only acceptable question, sir. That is the only acceptable. Yeah. And I told him, I was like at the bar. He goes, oh. And then we took a picture, and he was very nice. Michelle Yeoh is in it as well. So I'm really excited. It's based on the graphic novel. So I have to finish reading it. But it looks to be it looks like it's going to be a fun show.
Oh yeah, and Noah's actually got some really good suggestions in the chat there. We've got Futurama revival, The Boys season 4, Rick and Morty season 7.
Wow, season 7.
Season 7 of Rick and Morty. That show is still going really hot, and I have to admit, I watched a lot of the earlier seasons, but I haven't gotten caught up. I got to catch up with that.
Mm-hmm.
Solar Opposites season 4, The Last of Us, Secret Invasion, The Mandalorian season 3, and What If season 2.
Yes.
That is the one that I really wanted to talk about too.
Yes.
Is What If season 2. We get to see the one storyline that was supposed to be in season 1 that's now got moved to season 2, the one with Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
And just to see the expansion of the multiverse, super excited for What If season 2. Hopefully they will slowly develop a What If Star Wars.
Yes.
And I think there's even
a graphic
novel.
That forever.
I've been wanting that for so long.
I just have to put this comment up.
Whip it.
Whip it, whip it, whip it, whip it. Whip it,
That's what it was.
Keep watching. Okay, just in case YouTube is like, hey, I recognize that. Shut down the whole stream.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Mr. Domez for your super chat, who writes, love the Tales of the Jedi and your reaction to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What if they did another season? We would absolutely watch. We would absolutely react to it.
Oh, yeah.
And who writes, who would you like to see about it? I like to see Tar Vizsla and Asajj Ventress. Ventress would be great.
Those are two really good characters. And also something about Tales of the Jedi is that it's good to kind of pick like those side-off character, don't get me wrong. Ahsoka's huge and Count Dooku are huge, but they're outside of like the Skywalker saga. They're closely connected.
Yes.
I think also doing I would love to see a little bit more of Plo Koon.
Ooh.
Plo Koon was always one of my favorite Jedis. Also, you could do a tale
Ventress
of...
would be great.
Ventress would be really, really, really
good.
What
would be kind of cool, but it's very niche, and I think it would only be like one episode insert, and I don't know how they would link that unless they want to bring Ahsoka back to it. It would be Barriss.
Oh yeah,
Barriss Offee.
That would be a good one.
Or like a Luminara thing like that. I think would be pretty cool as well. Yeah.
Who else? What are you guys? If you guys had to choose someone from the Star Wars legacy, the Star Wars universe, to do a Tales of the Jedi, who would you pick? But you know what? They would have to stick with those who are either who are Jedi or once were Jedi. Like Ahsoka was once a Jedi, but she left the Jedi Order. Count Dooku was once a Jedi. Kayla, that's a good one. That you could
do you feel like they do it even though there is the connection?
I think that would be a really good one to do, actually, because you can progress that storyline a little bit more to where you do one is his training in the Jedi Temple, one where he actually loses his Jedi Master, and then another one of what is he doing trying to escape,
right?
Or you can actually have his training and then the death of his master in the first episode, and the next two are him surviving on his own and him meeting Hera.
Ooh.
I would love to see that storyline. That's a really good one.
Is cool.
And once again, he was a Jedi, so it fits in there.
Wow. And I think that's what made the Dooku story so interesting, because we really hadn't seen that before. Like, what was the catalyst that made him turn? Because he already had his own ideas about how he felt about the Jedi Council and the way they were running things, and the reason he was starting to slowly turn to the dark side. But it was Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
That really was like the catalyst, I feel like, the final one.
Now there's also, who's that?
Mode Man.
Mode Man, yeah. Qui-Gon, definitely. However, if you wanted to start expanding the universe a little bit more, do Darth Revan. He was a Jedi who turned to the Sith, who went back to the Jedi. I can't remember how many times he flipped back and forth. I think he went Jedi, Sith, back to Jedi. So it would fit into Tales of the Jedi, and you could start telling this era because they are going backwards in time with the High Republic.
Yeah. And then another great suggestion by Blade, Cal Kestis.
Oh, yeah.
Could they bring him over from the game?
That would be cool.
Onto like the Star Wars
That would be an
animation?
amazing thing to do.
That'd be so cool. Okay, sorry to spend so much time on
something that wasn't even.
It was meant to happen. It always happens. And then two other really, I know they're definitely not on your list. This one is coming soon. This one's going to be on AMC, and it's Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's with what's her name?
Amanda. No, not
Nope. What is her name? Well, I don't know. I'm blanking at the moment.
In Baywatch. Well, she was in Baywatch, right?
She was in Baywatch. She was also in White Lotus, and she was in Percy Jackson.
Yes.
And I don't know why I'm blanking on her name. So somebody please put that in the chat. And then we have this is a Sarah Michelle Gellar show. Well, she's in it, called Wolfpack.
Alexandria
Daddario. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruru, too. So those are the couple of the shows that I am looking forward to see.
Yeah, I think I got everything that I want. Oh, something that should be on your list, but you didn't say. No, Shadow and Bone.
Shadow and Bone. I'm so excited.
I saw that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's coming out this year.
You know, it's so funny. When I read the books, I am 100% like Team Melina. But something happens when I watch the show. Maybe it's because I'm like looking at Ben Barnes' face, and I'm like, yes, I'm all on Team Darklina. But I'm very excited for season 2. I kind of feel like I want to refresher and rewatch season 1. I know I don't have the time for it because there's 50 million other things I need to watch and do. But yeah, looking forward to season 2.
So just right off the top from my list: Secret Invasion, Loki season 2, Legend of Vox Machina, Ahsoka, Mandalorian season 3, Last of Us, Shadow and Bone, X-Men 97, American Born Chinese, Star Wars Skeleton Crew, Avatar: The Last Airbender live action on Netflix, Echo, if it's coming out this year, Ironheart, and Agatha: Covet of Chaos.
Nice. Yeah. So I feel like it's probably not everything.
Yeah, there's still going to be some things I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but that's the majority of the list. But we wanted to, because we've already hit the over hour mark. So
and we still have to do the one.
We want to go ahead and get into the movies. So go ahead and name off a few movies on your list, because I'm sure they cross ours. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do some movies that aren't at the top, but they're not at the bottom. They're not like movies that I'm like
Acolyte. That's
that's right.
2023.
Wait, no. I think that's coming out
2024.
Because I don't think they started.
If it's 2023, then yes, we can add it to our list.
Yes. All right. So diving into movies. You know what? Do you want to start off with just like the Marvel movies?
Yeah, do that.
Because we have to
do.
We're going to do the chunk of the Marvel movies.
Studios.
Oh,
that would have been easier. Whatever. Next time. Next year. Okay. 2024.
I mean, of course, all of the Marvel movies that are coming out, I'm excited for. I'm excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp because we're going to get MODOK in it.
Yeah.
MODOK!
And Kang.
I'm excited for, what are some of the other Marvel movies that are coming out that I'm excited for? Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I think those are the only... Oh, no, and then we have...
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, The Marvels.
The Marvels, that was the other one.
Quantumania.
Those are the 3 big movies that are coming out.
What did I write here?
What are my notes? But yeah, the 3 big movies coming out for Marvel this year: Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, The Marvels, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you. My brain today.
No, it's all right. We need food.
Yes.
And then for some of the other movies, this is also in the superhero genre. I'm very excited for Blue Beetle. We've been championing. Very excited for. Thank you. Very excited for Xolo to be Miguel. No. Miguel is Cobra Kai. to be Jaime.
Jaime.
I'm sorry. So very excited about Blue Beetle.
Yeah, me too. Right there with you. Super excited to see that.
I see a couple of you guys writing Megan in the chat. Megan's great. Well, for me, Megan was a lot of fun. It is PG-13, so it's not over the top, super scary. Like the jump scares, only one of them for me was like super effective, and even then, like I didn't really jump. I just kind of went, oh. But it doesn't mean that they're bad. They're just kind of like, you know, a little bit predictable as far as like, you know, what's coming, and it's great for PG-13. And I love the actresses who work together to bring Megan to life. Like their performances combined are so good. Okay, what is next on your list?
So let's stick with now the other superhero movies that are coming out next year.
You said Blue Beetle.
So you said Blue Beetle. I'm also looking forward to Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Yes.
I love the first Shazam. I cannot wait for the second one. And I'm also really curious if they're planning to tweak or change any of the things to kind of hint that they're going to be in the next series of DC movies, because technically they were not connected to the Snyderverse, or there wasn't a clear connection that you can kind of like, hey, you know what, let's scoot these guys over, like Blue Beetle and Shazam can possibly go into the next generation of DC movies. And even though there's a lot of controversy around it, I am so excited to see what they do with the Flash. Because Flashpoint Paradox, I'm excited to see Michael Keaton again as Batman. Hearing his voice in that one teaser trailer made me just go, oh, yes, I'm Batman. The original, the OG, well, original for me. So I'm excited to see what they do with Flash and other DC. I know there was one more DC. Oh yeah, and DC? Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
You know, Aquaman 2 is coming out. I love Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
Yes.
I personally think that he was the one that really saved the first Aquaman movie, was because he's just like, oh yeah,
my man.
And I love seeing Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
Yes. On to other superhero things, but not live action, is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So excited. No wonder the first one won the Oscar, because it is that good. So I'm very excited because Miles is a little bit more grown, and it just looks super crazy, and different variants and different universes, and so many things could happen. And the animation again looks top tier. So we're super excited about that one.
Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, since we saw the first one, we have been gnawing at the bit to get a second one.
Yeah.
The fact that it won Best Animated Picture at the Oscars, the music, the visuals, I loved how they do the animation for it. So yeah, definitely super excited for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And sticking with animated movies, I'm excited for Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I liked what we saw. I loved Jack Black as Bowser. I love the storyline. I thought it looked super cute. I love the fact that it looks like we're getting everybody in this, and any kind of little Easter egg from the what is it called? Easter egg from the
trailers?
From the games.
Oh yes.
From Mario Kart to the original two like the side-scrolling game. It looks really, really fun. So I am excited for Super Mario Brothers.
The movie. Super Mario Brothers movie. Okay. Is that all the kind of like the geek genre stuff?
We also have Transformers coming out.
Transformers. Dune Part 2 is one of my most anticipated movies. The Part 1, not that it surprised me because I figured it'd be good, but I remember going to the film so worried because I hadn't read the book, and I'm like, I'm not going to understand anything. And for a second there, because they started throwing out terminology, and I was like, oh my God, I don't understand this. How am I going to review this movie? And then I was like, Wendy, this is sci-fi. Just like sit back and relax, and everything's going to click in place. And it did. And I really, really liked it. So I look forward to Part 2 because there's just going to be so much more. Okay, franchises. John Wick 4. Did you?
Yep, John Wick 4 is on my list, but I have not mentioned it. John Wick 4. I mean, the action scenes that they do in this movie, the stunts, let's take a fight, but this time put it on back of horses and motorcycles. And it's just one of those, you know, I want to see, that's what I really go to a John Wick movie. What new action fight scenes are they going to give us? And how much time, effort, money, energy they put into these extended action shots? I'm super excited for.
Yes. Another big one in the franchise world is Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah.
Yay. And the Dial of Destiny,
The
right?
Dial of Destiny.
Yes.
Fortunately, has nothing to do with crystal or nothing to do with skulls, because I have to admit that if it wasn't for that movie, I think I'd be a lot more excited for the new Indiana Jones. And the fact that this is officially 100% going to be Harrison Ford the last time donning the fedora. So,
and the whip.
And the whip.
Whip.
So I'm curious to see if they decide to continue the Indiana Jones story in another direction or reboot it with another actor. It's gonna be interesting to see the future of Indiana Jones.
Wait, didn't you also mention earlier today that this is going to be the last film that John Williams is going to compose?
Yes. This is actually John Williams' last movie he's composing.
He must live forever.
But it makes sense. I mean, yeah, he's
so
90-something. He's 96, and he's still doing amazing orchestra work. So, John Williams, yeah, you go, buddy.
What an achievement. Okay,
yeah.
What other movies are on your list that is also on mine?
Okay, so...
This is a franchise.
Oh, yeah. Mission Impossible. It's Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Yes.
So we know we're going to get at least 2 more Mission Impossible movies. I'm wondering if it's...
Is this the 6th or 7th? Am I 7th? This is the 7th one.
7th, right? I think. Excuse me. Yeah, 7th. And then the next one's going to be 8.
Is that the one in 6?
But same thing with John Wick. Mission Impossible. One of the big things is to see what insane
What is
stunt,
Tom Cruise going to do now?
What is John Cruise? Yeah, John Cruise. Tom Cruise going to strap himself to this time. He's strapped himself to a helicopter, to an airplane, climbed the side of a
space shuttle is going to be next for me.
He's going to go in
sure,
space.
For sure.
We're going to get Mission Impossible in space, and I can't. It's probably going to be for part 2. Where they actually film in space. It is getting more and more feasible for them to be doing this. So, John, oh my gosh, John Cruise again. Tom Cruise in space. Let's go.
For one, that I feel like when I say this, people are going to be like, wow, really? But the trailer really sold me, and I just want to see what they do with it because it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Is the Barbie movie?
Yes.
That trailer was so smart.
And so off the wall. I mean, it really gave you the tone that this is what the Barbie movie is going to be like. It's going to be very tongue-in-cheek. It's going to, you saw that one pan of the skyline of Barbie Land?
Barbie Land?
So honestly, I truly think that it's going to be a girl play at the end. It's going to be like not Toy Story, like the Lego movie. Where it's a little girl playing with her Barbies, and it's just her doing this crazy story.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of movie because with Greta Gerwig writing and directing this, like she's gonna obviously because it's her vision. She's writing it, she's directing it, so obviously. But I think she understands what kind of movie Barbie needs to be in order for it to work. Right, because like there's been tons of Barbie movies, but they're all like animated, the CGI, and
very for kids.
Yeah, it's very much for kids. I think this is going to be a little bit more like for the general audience. It's going to be just like a fun time in theaters. So the trailer with the 2001 Space Odyssey like was so smart, so funny, and that because I was kind of like, I don't know, Barbie movie, and that trailer sold me, did its job. So very excited for that. Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous.
Something that I just saw today, and if you want, you can see our trailer reaction. It's now up on our channel. Renfield. I'm like, this looks like a fun movie.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it existed, but to see Nicolas Cage as I am Dracula.
So funny.
I'm like, yes. Ooh. You go, Nicolas Cage.
What are we doing on the 12th? Sorry. Quick pause.
But here, while you go look that up, so yeah, Renfield I'm excited for. Let's get a little bit more serious and get into the more art film Oppenheimer,
Oh,
the new Christopher Nolan movie that's coming out. That looks beautiful. It looks intense. I know he didn't put it in there,
Yeah.
but I could hear the ball. Just being super excited for that, and to be able to see Christopher Nolan's take on this story. The fact that it's a Pulitzer Prize winning novel.
Yeah.
Super excited to see Oppenheimer.
It's going to be so good.
And also Wonka.
Oh, really?
I'm surprised to see because
Timothy Chalamet.
Because of Timothy Chalamet. And at first I was like, oh, really? I don't know if I want to hear another Wonka story. But then I heard Timothy Chalamet's name, and I'm like, and then I saw the pictures of him in the suit. I'm like, okay, I'm interested. I'm curious. So I really kind of want to see what they bring to that. My anticipation might drop or increase when the first trailer comes out.
Yeah, well, so that's not on my list.
Not at all.
Not yet.
I know something that should be on your list.
What?
The Little Mermaid.
It actually is on my list, but I also want to tread carefully because I haven't really loved all of the Disney live action movies. There's been like I like fewer than I heard it, like
Pinocchio.
It's hit or miss. But what I am looking forward to, what really got me was a little piece that they showed at D23. I don't remember if it's, I think they showed parts of it to everybody too, but like we got the entire part of your world sequence at D23. Like we got to see that in Hall D23. And I didn't even realize I was like crying, which turned into like a very quiet sob. And I'm like, who am I? What is happening to me? Because I wasn't expecting that. I knew that Chloe, her is it Chloe or is it Haley? I think it's Haley. Haley Bailey. Her talent, I mean, they're both super talented. Look them up on YouTube. But so I knew that talent was not like the singing without question was going to be amazing, but she delivered it with a lot of emotion. And Little Mermaid being the film that's like my childhood. I grew up with that film. I had so many things, almost my entire room. Little Mermaid, I was like obsessed with the animated film. And it got
bed sheets and everything.
Bed sheets, posters, towel, shampoo, chapstick, anything that had the Little Mermaid on it, I begged for it. And my mom was like, sure,
just something to keep you happy. So I'm going to throw out my last little, these kind of fall into honorable mentions more. I'm also really curious about, but Elemental that is coming out by Pixar. That looks like a really cute, fun animated movie.
Yes.
I'm excited for Creed 3.
Yes.
Something I'm curious about are the Haunted Mansion movie and Peter Pan and Wendy.
Peter Pan and Wendy. That's another Disney live action, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about all of those, but I'm also really, I'm excited for Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons, that's on my list.
Honor Among Thieves.
Yes, very excited about that. I'm going to have to hound the PR team at Paramount. Please let me screen this. Please let me screen this. So yeah, that'll be, come on now.
There we go. No, here, let me see if I can. Oh no, he's gone.
Oh, okay.
He's not on the.
Got it.
The bots are gone.
All right. Let's see. You said Creed. You said Dungeons and Dragons.
Elemental.
I feel like I stopped writing the list.
Oh, Haunted Mansion.
I'm
curious about that. I want to see.
I will proceed with caution.
And same thing, Peter Pan and Wendy.
Yes.
I'm interested, but I'm proceeding with caution.
Yes. Let's see what else.
So my whole list of everything that I put down, unfortunately, I put a lot of them. John Wick 4, Super Mario Brothers, Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse, Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, Indiana Jones, Dune 2, Shazam! The Marvels, Wonka, Flash, Guardians 3, Little Mermaid, Barbie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Blue Beetle, Elemental, Renfield, Dungeons and Dragons, Haunted Mansion, Peter Pan and Wendy, Transformers, Rise of the Beast, Creed 3, and Aquaman 2.
Nice. That's good list.
My whole list. That's everything that I wrote down.
That sounds pretty.
And there also seems to be a lot of really good, because I know there's a new, what's his name? Not Steven Spielberg. But there's also a couple Leonardo DiCaprio movies that are coming out. There's a lot of really good movies coming out this year.
Yeah, so this will be a fun year. Oh, 65. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if it's like most anticipated, but I'm very, very interested in 65 with Adam. Adam
Jack,
Driver.
I do. Yeah, I agree with you. Transformers, you're brave. Yeah,
The trailer looks
we've
good.
been burned by Transformers
Many a
times, but
in our opinion, no shade to anybody.
oh yeah, if you guys like it, I can
like
understand.
it, yeah, we
it's
see why.
giant robots.
Our friend John Roca loves it.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Like what you want to like.
Yeah.
And honestly, Transformers has done this a lot. You know, it's the trailer that makes you go, oh, this looks so cool.
Yeah.
But the fact that, you know, they're going in a little bit of a different direction. It's not Michael Bay directing this one. The last one was Bumblebee, which I thought was pretty good. I liked Bumblebee.
Yeah.
So I am optimistically anticipating it.
Yeah. So that is just some of our, I'm sure we left some stuff off the list. But that is some of the movies we are looking forward to in 2023.
G-Fan, there's going to be a new Three Musketeers.
It's called the Three Musketeers D'Artagnan.
Oh, cool.
D'Artagnan!
My sister's honor will not last a moment longer.
Oh my God.
Honestly, I have to admit, that was one of those movies I loved growing up. I loved it. I thought it was so cool. It really got me into the Three Musketeers with Chris O'Donnell, Oliver Platt, and Tim Curry.
Yes.
Went back and watched it. Every single line in that movie is a one-liner. And the only two actors that really pull it off are Tim Curry and Oliver Platt.
Naturally.
They are the ones that just do an amazing job. And I don't want to knock it too much because it is still a really fun movie. But yeah, I was like, wow, this is definitely like a 90s style.
That was, yeah, it very much fit the time that it came out.
Yes,
very much so. Before we go, you guys, we have a super chat from Mr. Gomez. Thank you so much. Who writes, only discovered you and your channel sometime in 2022. Enjoying your content a lot, but time zones rarely allow me to join on live streams. Oh, well, thank you for stopping by today. I'm so glad it worked out. What would be some of your favorite shows before starting the What would be some of your favorite shows before starting the channel?
Oh, you mean like on YouTube? What kind of channels did we watch? What kind of
can you elaborate a little bit, Mr.
anything
Gomez?
Else just as a well, thank you so much for your super chat.
Elaborate, and then we can you don't have to send it in as a super chat. Just put it in the comments because my eyes are on it now.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Mr. Robo Striker 205 for stopping by, who says you have to go.
Bye.
I'm trying to think his favorite shows before starting the channel.
Like what were
Breaking Bad, Prison Break.
Oh, okay.
You never finished Breaking Bad.
Never. It's one of those shows.
What did you watch before? How many episodes did you get to?
I didn't get that many episodes into it because
So you're still in season 1?
Yeah, definitely still in season 1. And the thing is, though, a lot of things were spoiled for me because I have to admit, one of my guilty pleasures is to go onto YouTube and watch these little clips, especially when you're just scrolling through shorts. Excuse me. Scrolling through shorts, they will just show these little clips. I'm like, wow, that's such a cool moment. But that moment is now ruined for me in the story. And a lot of, what is it called? Breaking Bad was spoiled that way.
You need to still watch Warrior.
Well, I watched a lot of Warrior.
But not
Warrior was really fun.
Not like the later seasons, right? Like season
2.
No,
I got into
season 2. So good.
I loved Game of Thrones. Wendy and I did a lot of Game of Thrones.
We're gonna react to Wednesday. It's gonna happen. Wednesday in Cobra Kai. We're gonna do it. And like I feel bad because like I have a friend who is literally in Cobra Kai and I have not watched the series. So, but she doesn't know that, so it's okay. And she doesn't watch live streams, so it's okay. But yeah. So yeah, those there are some. It's interesting as a channel who accidentally got into the reaction part. Like we ended up being a reaction channel, which was kind of by accident because the Movie Couple was started as a vlog channel, but then in my head, because of the views were so low, I was like, who's going to care about two random strangers that but who are we, what do we like, and how can I transition that? So then I changed the name of the channel to The Movie Couple, and then we started talking about, because we do love the movies and we love discussing it. So we started to do movie reviews, which is why you'll never not see a movie review on this channel. But we started to do reactions as sort of like, you know, because like a lot of people were doing reactions, it was getting kind of big.
And it was fun to do.
Back in like 2014, 2015. And it was fun to do. And we started it, and then people kept on asking for more and more and more. And we were having fun doing it, that we just kept going. So now it's kind of evolved into us doing, obviously, trailer reactions. It's still the main thing. But show reactions just takes a little bit longer because I don't have an editor. I don't have the money to hire an editor. And I don't want anybody to be giving me that service for free. Like I would not do it for free. I would never edit for somebody for free, ever. That's a lie. I did it for one person. I edited their demo reel for free because I felt bad that they couldn't get somebody else who said that they would do it. And they weren't doing it. So I felt bad. And I was like, and I threw it together in 20 minutes. It cost me 20 minutes of time. Yeah. Like as we were like having a conversation, I was like, let me just do it real quick for her. And she almost cried, and I was like, well, okay, but for like a bigger scale, like people have offered like, I'll just edit it for you. I was like, well, no, like how much? And they're like, they gave me some like really low price. I'm like, I don't think so. Just because I feel like you should be valued for your time. And right now we're not in a position to pay someone to do the amount of editing that I would like for them to do. So I just handle it by myself, which is fine. So, what do you call it? Yeah, we're going to do Wednesday. We're going to do we definitely want to do Cobra. We love Cobra Kai. So we're definitely going to do Cobra Kai. And then we have to finish Willow. We got Bad Batch 2 happening right now. And then we have The Last of Us coming up and Vox Machina. So there's a lot. There's going to be a lot.
We're going to have to, what we might have to do is just see if we can get a day and we just binge watch and record everything. And then just try to.
Somebody buy me a terabyte memory card, SD card. 1 terabyte. But all the.
I don't. Do they even come that big?
Heck yeah.
Oh, they do.
Let me see. I think 2 terabyte is the biggest.
But
they're expensive though. Honestly, that's just a joke. Nobody get me that. That's just a joke.
Just joking. But honestly, yeah, and just it's really being able to find the time to sit down, set everything up, and film is, you know, a little difficult because, you know, I still work outside of the YouTube channel.
Yes.
And that's the thing. We've set this up to be an us thing. And if it's just Wendy or just me, it doesn't quite work as well. We want to be able to do it together.
Yes.
So that's a lot less time you now have. But yes, there's a lot of shows out there. We're trying to get to them as much as we can. I'm trying to think of some of the shows that I would just watch.
1 terabyte does not exist.
Over and over and over and over again, which is one of them is the X-Men
it does.
series.
$200?
You scared me.
$200 for a 1 terabyte SD card.
That's bigger than what I have in my computer.
Okay.
But
wow.
The X-Men TV show I grew up on, and I would watch those episodes over and over and over and over again. I'm trying to think of some other good childhood TV shows that I just
Care Bear.
loved. Care Bear.
I'm just kidding.
Gummy Bears. And
I did like Gummy Bears.
Darkwing Duck.
Gargoyles.
Gargoyles.
The jam. That's my jam. Love Gargoyles. I was obsessed with Goliath. Obsessed.
Well, that voice. I can't remember.
Is that why I like Felix from Stray Kids? Because the deep voice, they're not even at all similar, except for the low register of their voices. That's so funny.
But yeah, the actor that does Goliath is such a cool voice actor. He does such amazing stuff.
What have they? I feel like this is. Hold on.
Once you see him, you're going to remember exactly who it is. He's a very memorable voice. A very memorable actor. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. Keith David. He's done 50 million things.
Yeah. Wasn't he also in Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Isn't he?
No.
Oh, no, that's someone else.
That's Carl Lumbly.
That's who it is.
Carl Lumbly. Yeah, he's done a bunch of stuff, though. Yeah. No surprise. Yeah, you're right. The second I saw his face, I'm like, oh, duh.
Oh, yeah. Stardew. Speaking of Star Trek, another TV show that I love, Star Trek Next Generation.
Never watched
I have to admit, I haven't watched
never,
it in a really long time. And I don't know if I saw every single season because it was so hard back then to watch all of them. Star Trek Next Generation, I thought was an amazing show. I remember sitting down for a couple seasons, always with my mom. And we just always enjoyed Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff coming to the channel. I will do my best to get as much done as I can while doing other content creation, like going to theme parks and things like that.
Doing some food eating.
Because I really don't want the channel to be just reactions. As much as I know people enjoy them and as much as I enjoy doing it, I don't want it to be just so singular. I want it to be like out and about. We get, a vlog here, a movie couple eats there. Some, live streams will keep happening. So there's
a vlog at Disneyland.
We
love Disney.
Yeah. Cassie, thank you for understanding this. Cassie says, few people understand how much time content creators spend creating their content. Also, just because YouTube reports any creator making so much from their channel, it's really what the creator. You never believe those reports, guys.
Yeah, because remember, also, those numbers are a little skewed because there's the money that we kind of make, then YouTube takes their piece, and then the government takes their piece.
Yeah.
And since it's under, what is that called? We are not technically we're not employed. It's a bigger chunk of the pie for content creators.
That was a lot more information than I expected you to give out.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So yeah, it's a lot. And I think people don't understand, they think it's like magic, right? You film it and then it's up. It's like, no, I got to be really selective of how I edit certain things and how to keep what moment in there. And then, so there's the time you spend. We'll take, for example, a Disney Plus show, say The Mandalorian. Let's say the show is 50 minutes long, right? So we spend an hour and 20 watching the show. And we say an hour and 20 because there's the setup time, there's the introduction that we do before we click play, and then there's the wrap-up thought, which could go from 6 minutes to longer, depending on how we feel. And then there's the breaking down, which doesn't usually do for me, so I can just jump right over to my desk and start editing. And that can take, on a good day, 4 hours. Usually I average between 5 to 6, 4, 5 or 6 hours, but it's taking me longer before because I've run into, issues because you're working with computers and there's bound to be issues where I make a mistake. I've lost entire projects before and have to start over.
Oh my
Dustin's
God,
seen it. It's happened a couple of times with Stranger Things. I feel like Vecna's like, no, not today. So yeah. And then you have to wait for it to export, which takes a while. And then you have to upload it and see if it passes the YouTube check. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
That's the part where you're like, it didn't pass. What do I have to edit out? What else do I have to do? So in any case, that is, I'll get off my soapbox. I'll stop. I could just, if you wonder what content creators do when we all get together, we stress out and we talk about, this is what we talk about. Tell you that right now. All right, guys, we love you so much. Thank you for joining in today on not a regularly scheduled live stream, but we hope you enjoyed today, and hope that you guys have a good rest of the week and have a wonderful weekend. Be Right 3223 says Happy New Year. Will you guys be checking out
New Year.
Super Nintendo World when it opens at Universal Studios Hollywood? Yes, the plan is to go. I've been hinting very hard at the publicity team at Universal Studios Hollywood that I would love to cover.
Yeah,
so
I definitely want to see that.
That happens. But we are also thinking about maybe getting a season pass, like the neighbor pass for SoCal, to go, because I know right now they're doing reservations for Super Nintendo World to get a sneak peek soft opening sort of situation. So I don't know if that's started yet, but we definitely want to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And one last TV show that I was raised on that was reminded to me by Noah, Animaniacs.
Oh yeah,
I love Animaniacs.
That's a fun one. So many good little shorts.
Yes, so many fun characters.
Yes.
But thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button.
Or subscribe.
If you haven't, subscribe. It helps us out a lot here on the channel. We love you guys, and we will see you in the next Tiny Toons. You click through that Tiny Toons. So yes, Tiny Toon Adventures was also really fun. But we love you guys, and we'll see you guys in our next video.
Bye.